Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're really focusing the lens on something crucial, maybe the most crucial thing for your day, those first few hours.
Yeah, how you start really sets the trajectory for, well, everything that follows your productivity, your mood, your focus.
Exactly. We're not just talking about, dragging yourself out of bed. We're diving into the science behind optimizing your morning.
That's right. And look, if you're someone who feels like you need a bit of a shortcut maybe to building a more resilient mindset or improving focus, the research we've pulled together offers a pretty clear path.
So what's the mission today?
Pure extraction, really. We're pulling out 7 simple but genuinely powerful rituals, and we're not just going to list them. We want to get into the why, the sort of neuroscientific reasoning behind why they work.
Because, let's be real, for a lot of us, mornings are just a scramble, right? We wake up, grab the phone, check the news, rush for coffee.
Yeah.
We're instantly in reaction mode.
But the core idea here, the foundational premise, is that how you intentionally start your morning is, well, it's a critical investment in the rest of your day.
And an investment, not just another chore. I like that.
Absolutely. And the evidence really stacks up. Just a few intentional minutes, doesn't have to be hours, can dramatically boost your energy and even improve cognitive function.
So this isn't just fluff, it's about actually controlling stress responses.
Precisely. Proactively managing your physiological stress responses and channeling your energy where you want to go.
Okay, let's unpack this list then. Where do we begin? The sources seem pretty clear that it starts with the mind, right? Shifting that internal focus first, that's where the research points. Mental preparation comes first. And the list kicks off with something that honestly sounds deceptively simple. Ritual number 1, waking up with gratitude. Okay, but I have to push back a little here. When the alarm goes off and you know you have a mountain of stuff to do, is trying to force gratitude just, papering over the cracks? How practical is that when you're already feeling stressed?
That's a fair question, but think of it like a neurological circuit breaker. It's not about pretending problems don't exist.
Okay.
Positive psychology studies show that by deliberately acknowledging just 3 specific things you're grateful for, right when you wake up, you're actually hijacking your brain's natural tendency to scan for threats or problems, that negativity bias we all have.
So it's less about feeling happy despite the stress and more about changing the brain chemistry.
Exactly that. You're giving the front part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, your rational thinking center, a positive task. It forces a sort of cognitive reframing, makes it harder for the anxieties to just rush in and take over.
You're redirecting the energy.
Deliberately. Towards abundance, not scarcity.
Yeah.
Right from the get-go. Okay, that makes sense. Let's stick with the mental game then. If gratitude sets the tone, what's next for maintaining that inner calm? Ritual 3. Practice mindful breathing or meditation.
Yeah, and this is where a little structure really helps manage our internal state. The recommendation isn't anything huge, just 5, maybe 10 minutes dedicated to deep, focused breathing or mindfulness.
And the science behind this. What's happening in the body?
Well, what's fascinating is the connection to the vagus nerve. Slow, controlled breathing, you see. It stimulates this nerve, and that activates the parasympathetic nervous system.
The rest and digest system, the calming one.
Precisely. So you're literally, physically turning down the stress dial before the day even really hits you.
You're training yourself not just to react instantly.
Right. You're building the capacity to respond thoughtfully. It calms the mind, gives you this immediate boost in clarity, which, let's face it, is invaluable when you know you've got decisions to make later on. 10 minutes invested for potentially hours of better emotional regulation. Okay, gratitude, breathing. The mental clarity feels fragile, though. And it seems like Ritual 5 is designed to protect it, focusing on what we let in. Input management. This one is pretty direct, and it starts with avoidance, actually. The explicit instruction is avoid diving straight into emails or social media first thing.
Yeah, I think this is the one where most people stumble. Why is checking your inbox at, say, 6 a.m. such a psychological landmine?
Because, think about it, checking email first thing is basically like letting a complete stranger barge in and dictate your agenda for the day.
Okay, fair point.
You immediately give up control, you jump straight into reactive triage mode, and the data backs this up, seeing an unexpected, maybe difficult email. It triggers an immediate cortisol spike, often before you've even had breakfast or mentally prepared.
So you're starting the day already stressed and on the back foot.
Exactly. In a state of deficit, it completely undermines the clarity you might have just built with the gratitude and the breathing exercises.
Right. So avoidance is key. But what's the positive action? What should we be doing instead of checking the phone? Instead of absorbing all that external noise and potential chaos, the idea is to actively feed your mind something positive. Read a few pages from an inspiring book, maybe an affirmation, or even just a motivational quote that resonates with you.
So you're cultivating a proactive mindset, fueling your purpose, not just reacting to everyone else's demands.
You got it. You're taking control of the input.
Okay, this is great for the mind, but it's easy to forget the body's role. The research you mentioned makes it clear peak mental performance needs physical support. So let's pivot. How do we physically prep for focus?
Yeah, that's a perfect transition. We move from mind to body, recognizing they're totally linked. And this brings us to the first physical pillar, which is beautifully simple. Ritual 2. Hydrate your body. Just drinking water. Seems basic. Why does the timing matter so much? Why does a glass of water right after waking up earn a spot on this, high-impact list? Because after 6, 7, 8 hours of sleep, your body is actually pretty dehydrated. Even low-level chronic dehydration contributes to that grogginess we feel. And importantly, it can keep stress hormone levels, like cortisol, artificially high.
Okay. So that simple glass of water is like an instant signal to your body that the drought is over, things are okay, and it helps lower stress and wake up your metabolism. Zero effort, basically.
Exactly. 0-calorie way to signal safety. It refreshes you, rehydrates tissues, actually helps with nutrient absorption from your breakfast later, and yeah, it kickstarts your metabolism. It's a tiny action for a surprisingly big biological payoff. Sort of washes away the physiological leftovers of sleep. Okay, hydration first. Then we need some activation. That brings us to ritual 4. Move your body. Now, when people hear morning movement, they often picture like a full-on hour-long gym session, which immediately makes them think, I don't have time for that, and that's a common hurdle. But the research isn't talking about intense workouts necessarily. It's focused on functional movement, just engaging in some light stretching, maybe some simple yoga poses, or even a quick 10-minute bodyweight circuit is enough.
10 minutes.
10 minutes can be enough. The key mechanism we're interested in here is boosting blood flow, sure, but also the release of something called BDNF. Brain-derived neurotrophic factor.
BDNF.
Yeah.
Is that sometimes called miracle growth of the brain?
That's the one. It gets called that because movement doesn't just energize the body. Releasing BDNF directly sharpens the mind. It enhances cognitive functions like learning and memory formation. So that physical movement is directly linked to your mental sharpness for the day ahead. Gets the brain ready to fire on all cylinders, which is crucial because next up, we need fuel for that brain and body. Sustainable energy, not just a quick hit. That's ritual 6, eat a healthy breakfast. But the sources seem really specific about what kind of breakfast.
Yeah, the guidance isn't just eat something. It's quite strategic. The advice is to choose a balanced breakfast, and it specifically calls out 3 components: protein, fiber, and healthy fats.
Okay, why that specific trio? What's wrong with, say, just grabbing a piece of toast or a sugary cereal? What happens if we miss one or two of those key components?
Well, if you start your day primarily with simple carbs, like that sugary cereal or maybe a plain bagel, you get this rapid spike in blood sugar, followed by a big insulin response. And then the crash.
Yep.
And then the inevitable crash, usually around, 10:30 a.m. You hit that wall, get the brain fog. The protein, the fiber, and the healthy fats working together, they stabilize that blood sugar curve.
So it's about sustained energy release.
Exactly. It fuels your body and brain in a much more balanced way, which directly supports sustained concentration throughout the whole morning. It underpins the focus from the mental work and sustains the energy from the movement. Okay, so let's recap quickly. These first 6 rituals have done a lot of the groundwork. Calm the nervous system with gratitude and breathing, energize the body with water and movement, provided stable fuel. The mind is focused. Essentially, yes, they've created this optimal state of readiness. So now we shift gears a bit. We move from preparation to actual execution. All right, this is where it gets really interesting, I think. We've prepped the mind, fueled the body. Now, how do we actually direct all that potential? How do we steer the ship for the day? This feels like the bridge from being ready to being, directed. And that's ritual 7. This is the strategic capstone, really. The culmination of the whole morning routine.
Yeah.
Set daily intention. Okay, set daily intention. What does that actually look like in practice? Especially for someone listening who already feels overwhelmed. Does this mean writing out a massive 20-item to-do list first thing?
No, actually quite the opposite. This leverages a concept from behavioral science called implementation intention. It's much simpler. Before you dive into any tasks, emails, anything, you just take a minute to write down your top 3 priorities for the day.
Just 3.
Just 3. Your absolute mission critical items. The things that, if you get them done, will make the day feel like a success.
And so what factor here? Why is that so powerful?
The so what is that you've just consciously dedicated your peak energy, that clarity and focus you've cultivated through the other rituals to the tasks that matter most. It's a pre-commitment.
So it stops the day from just happening to you. Stops you getting pulled in a million directions by urgent but unimportant stuff.
Precisely. It prevents the tyranny of the urgent overwhelming the truly important. You're actively defining what success looks like for your day before the chaos of emails and requests comes flooding in. It keeps you focused, organized, and frankly, more motivated because you know what you're aiming for.
So pulling this all together then for our listener who's maybe juggling work, family, life, it sounds like the big takeaway is that mornings don't have to be this rushed, stressful reaction drill.
Not at all.
These 7 pillars, they aren't meant to be some huge, complicated new burden. They sound more like a framework for efficiency and maybe even empowerment.
That's a great way to put it. And if we zoom out to the bigger picture, the absolute key here, and the research really hammers this home, isn't intensity, it's consistency.
Right. You don't need to nail all 7 perfectly every single day from the start.
Exactly. It's about the practice. The more you consistently engage with these rituals, the gratitude, the water, the breathing, the movement, the positive input, the fuel, the planning, the more automatic and genuinely empowering they become.
They build on each other.
They do. They build mental fortitude, they set the right tone, and critically, they don't demand hours you don't have. They're designed as an optimization system, really, for that crucial first hour or so.
It's like getting ahead of the day before it gets ahead of you.
It's your shortcut, essentially, to understanding how to craft a more resilient, more productive day, ensuring your best energy and focus go where you decide before the world tries to pull them elsewhere. Okay, so for your closing thought today, something to really mull over. We've talked about the 7 interconnected pillars: gratitude, hydration, breathing, movement, positive input, healthy fuel, and setting intentions. If you had to pick just one, which single ritual do you think would create the biggest positive ripple effect in your life if you committed to doing it every single day for just the next week? Think about which one feels like the biggest gap for you right now, or maybe the one you resist the most. Starting there, with that one small, consistent commitment. Well, that's the real deep dive, isn't it? Putting the knowledge into practice.
Food for thought. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive. We'll see you next time.